Hey there viewers, a Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Studio Series 86 Blaster and Eject. Now, this is a figure I was kind of hesitant on getting because, like Studio Series 86 Galvatron, I consider this, you have the mold, but we've redone it so it looks more accurate, so you're going to get it again kind of figure. Because, yep, they've taken Kingdom / Legacy Blaster and they've straight up made it almost fully cartoon accurate with the deco. So, yeah. But, how is this deco compared to the original? Well, let's start off by looking at the box. Well, right off the bat we can see where I bought this from. So this is 40 quid at In Demand Toys, which... ooh. And keep in mind, here, like, the prices are still the same. They haven't increased compared to America, so... yeah, that's... let's not talk about that. Anyway, behind now we've got 25 and the 86 sub-range, which... we don't even have the numbers now, but we've got Blaster here with Eject. Just jumping out his chest, because of course he's a cassette bot. Autobot Blaster and Eject. Of course, this is like last year, so just before we got the plastic windows back. Transformers the movie. Here we got Blaster and Eject's faces. Got pictures of the two. The back, we got them in both modes. Got the chest door gimmick. Of course, Decepticons. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not meant to be there, because if it was Decepticon Shuttle Ambush, that would be the scene where Megatron's all, "Die Autobots!" And of course, Blaster's not in that scene, because he actually survives the film, so I think that's meant to say something like Autobot City Battle or something. So I think that's a typo. I think that's not meant to be there. But here it says what he does in the film. Got the backdrop. So yeah, I think that's a mistake. Anyway. Of course, we've got this. And the backdrop. And of course, it's the Autobot City scene, which, honestly, I would have preferred the communications tower that Blaster was on. But, well. And we can put him here, but he just looks like an oversized jukebox here, or... he just looks like an oversized radio. So he fits better in robot mode. But anyway, onto the actual figure. Well, as I said, it's essentially a recoloring of Kingdom Blaster or Legacy Blaster. And this mold has seen its fair share of uses now, because we got this guy, we got the original Kingdom version, the Legacy re-release, we got the Shattered Glass version, we got twin casts. So yeah. Honestly, I feel like a comic version would also be cool, because he did have a pretty distinctive head in the comics, but I'm sure you could customize that yourself. I have been considering that, but I don't have the painting skills to do that. Anyway, looking at the details, we can see that he's been heavily redecoed. So we can see the handle here. It's now much more accurate, because of course, with the original Blaster figure, the handle was only like colored here, compared to fully black as it was on Kingdom. Most of the knobs have just been left uncolored, which I feel is kind of disappointing, because now he just has these weird red bumps sticking out. I know it's accurate to the film, but like, if this was a new mold, he probably wouldn't have these, but one of them is still decoed. That's pretty cool. You can see that this bottom bit, we have some great paint here, because, of course, that's meant to be, like, the legs. So, on the original figure, like, these would just go down. These would be, like, the thighs. Compared to the Kingdom figure where this was red. The tape door is no longer translucent plastic, because they seem to be doing away with that partially. Like, a lot of figures still do use it, but if they're redecoing a figure, like for the movie, for example, they just get rid of the translucent plastic, which sometimes is really good, like with Wheeljack. But other times, I think it's unnecessary, because this wasn't really messing with the structural integrity of the figure. It was just like, in fact, you can't even see the cassette through the door now, which I guess is accurate, but Anyway, the side, of course, we still have, I don't know, because, of course, the front, we've got the speakers. These are the speakers in the robot mode. I guess these are, like, cooling fans. I don't know, like, radios and all that. Because, of course, this is meant to be, like, an old 80s beatbox. And me, a 2010s kid, I grew up on stuff like MP3s and YouTube and all that. So, I have no idea. The back, of course, you can still see the legs just all folded up. Do have some ports here. Of course, we got the main one to plug in the gun. So, yeah. So, let's talk about the accessories. And I think the main one to talk about here is Eject, because he's not really an accessory. He's more a packing figure. Like, you know, I guess he's not really a core class. He's more like a little tiny packing figure with blaster. But of course, he's like a little cassette tape, which is pretty cool. We do have the little spools here, which is really cool. And I feel the main reason to get this entire set is for Eject, because, of course, if we quickly bring in the Legacy Eject, the whole thing with Legacy was, at least the first year, they all had these weird translucent plastic weapons, and Eject was part of that for some reason, so he was all translucent plastic, which means he can break easily. So with the Studio Series version, they've gone ahead and fixed that, so he's now like non-translucent plastic, so he's much more stable. I mean, yeah, the white does kind of look out of place, but maybe this is like the label where you write the song name or the Commodore 64 name or the ZX Spectrum game name or whatever. I don't know. Ooh. But yeah, I'm just glad it's no longer translucent plastic, because he's going to be a lot more stable now, and hopefully we got a rewind in the same way so Chrome can have his partner. So yeah. But of course, what we can do is press this button. It opens the door here. We can just slide them in. And there you go. And honestly, that is quite fun. Because I have no idea why, but I find putting, like, discs and tapes and cartridges and stuff really satisfying. Like, I have no idea why. It just makes my brain really happy. But of course, we can do this with other, like, cassettes. So we've got Steeljaw, another partner. And he's a bit trickier, unfortunately, because, yeah, he's a bit thicker. Ugh. So with some finagling, you can get Steeljaw in there, but it's nowhere near as smooth as Eject. But you can do it. Of course, we have the ram horn that comes with Perceptor. And this is, yeah, it's a pain to get this guy in and out. And who knows, potential partnership with Soundwave. They can borrow each other's cassettes. So we got the red one. I'm not going to start that debate. Can he fit in here? Yeah, it's a bit tight, but he can also fit in. So yeah, I've got cross compatibility between cassettes, which is pretty cool. So we can fit in like Steel Jaw, Ram Horn, Rat Bat, Rumble and Frenzy. I'm sure Laserbeak and Ravage can fit in here. So yeah, I'm sure the upcoming Studio Series versions of Laserbeak, Buster, and Ravage can fit in here as well. I don't know, the figure's not out yet. Apparently Singapore has got the wave out already, why? But anyway, I digress. But of course, we can just put Eject in here because he's dedicated for this. And it's a really nice fit. And the other accessory and the main one, the gun, which of course, with this being Blaster's gun with a little hole here, because of course in the original toy I think that was meant for headphones or something, and can this take blast effects? I'm pretty sure in previous versions this couldn't take blast effects, and yeah, this one can't take blast effects, but we can still plug this in. And there's like two dedicated ways to do it. The first one is what I call the EVA Fusion way, because of course this was shown in Twincast's box, where pretty much forms a radio antenna. And this is the more intended way. So we've got this little divot right here, got this little bit here, just plugs in like so. There you go. So that's the weapon storage. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the boombox mode. So quickly, here it is with the Kingdom version. And you can see the Kingdom version is a lot more like colorful. Like a lot more paint is on it. The knobs are all colored in. I mean, yeah, this is more accurate, but this is a lot more colorful. Do I prefer one over the other? I honestly don't really know which one I prefer. Like, I prefer the handle of this one, but I think I prefer the knob detailing, which, that sounds wrong, but the dial detailing of this one. Like, I do really like how this one brings back the gray detailing under here, which Blaster normally has. But if it had the black colored dials, or, I guess, gray, I think I would still say this one's better, but here, I think both have the ups and downs. That's what I'm gonna say. But the Eject definitely wins on the Studio Series. Sometimes he gets stuck in... Sometimes Eject gets stuck in here. But yeah, Eject definitely wins in the Studio Series. So yeah. Now for the transformation... Now, transformation is exactly like the Kingdom and Legacy version. Like, there is no retooling whatsoever. So to start, take the gun off. And you can transform him with Eject still in the chest. That's what I'm going to do. So we're just going to take the handle, split it, and then move each half to the back here. And then move these down, and they're just going to tap into these little bits here. Like so, so just snap into place here. I can leave it like this if you want more sound wave like alternate mode, so you can do that. Continuing on, we're just going to lift this front plate up. And tab the sides here from the... Just untap the sides here, they tab into these bits here. And move the legs down. These little panels are just going to push in, and then this whole panel is going to close up. Rotate the legs 90 degrees, and then rotate the waist around. Engage the ankle tilt so we can get the foot down. These little grill sections, spin them around so we can get the robot mode speakers. Rotate a forearm down. Just get that to the top of the place, then spin around the wrist, spin around the forearm. So we got that, so do the same here. And we're nearly done. So just open up the back. Get the head spun around. And here we have Blaster in robot mode. And for Eject, well, it's going to get him out. We're just going to take these little bottom bits, move them down and move them around. So he has legs. These white bits are just going to untab, and these are going to form his arms. And finally, take a nail, get the head out, which is kind of tricky on this version. There we go. So get the head up, spin it around, and here we have Eject. So here we have the two in robot mode. And I gotta say, they look pretty good in robot mode. Like, honestly, I think in robot mode, I kind of prefer how this looks. Like, yeah, in boombox modes, you could argue that the Kingdom version looks better because of the added paint, but here, I kind of think that these guys look better. So, starting off with Eject quickly. Of course, he's now like opaque plastic, so he's not gonna snap as easily. Quickly bring in the legacy figure, so you can see what I mean. So yeah. And of course, heads on a ball joint, so it can look around, it can look up pretty far. Arms can move. Can sort of T-pose. Elbows are on ball joints, he can swivel, there's nothing at the waist, he can kick forward, kick back, good knees, do the splits, and that's about it. So yeah, I can fall forward quite a bit. But for Blaster, well, I think it looks quite nice. Like, of course, the mold doesn't really have a backpack, per se. The head, honestly, I kind of wish it was remolded to have a smirking expression, because that's how he was in the film. Like, he was all, like, jovial in the film. But, oh, well. Of course, we can give him the gun. There we go. And yeah, I do wish this could take blast effects, but oh well. But of course, we can see that this hand's got the molded trigger finger, so he can either pretend that he's like shooting the gun, or he's pressing the buttons here to open this, which is pretty cool. Something that Soundwave also does, I'm pretty sure, like the Netflix one. I'm not sure if the Studio Series one's going to do that. I don't know. Maybe he's going to have like opening hands with a pointer finger. I don't know. But yeah, this guy does look pretty good. Like, for example, if I put him next to the Legacy figure or Kingdom figure, we can see quite a lot of differences. Like, the head color is different. Chest's no longer translucent plastic. Like, there's no black plastic, it's all gray now. The feet are now the same color as the legs. I can even see that we have like the sticker detailing here right in the legs. I don't think the Kingdom version has that. Well, we do, it's just, it's hard to see because it's unpainted, so that's a nice addition. So yeah. So yeah, honestly, I think I prefer how this guy looks in robot mode. Now, of course, we can get Steeljaw. I'm not going to transform Soundwave's cassette without naming him to avoid the whole debate. But we can take Steeljaw here, quickly transform him. Because, of course, this is one of Blast's cassettes. Unfortunately, I don't have Ramhorn right now. Will I get him? Hopefully, because... I mean, yeah, he comes with a second Perceptor, but... So that's Steeljaw nearly transformed. There we go. So you can see how he looks with Steeljaw. And if you want, you can take this little thing that came with Steeljaw and slot this over the hand. And I think this is meant to reference a scene from the original show where he had this, which is kind of weird, but okay, why not? I'm probably just gonna have like Kingdom Blaster display with this, so. But we can see my current like blaster and his friends. I'm not gonna have rewind with him because he's the translucent plastic. I'll wait for them to do like an opaque plastic rewind. So yeah. And finally, for articulation, well, head can look side to side, can kind of look up and down. Arms can move. He can T-pose. Elbows, bicep rotation. Hands can go in slightly. They can go all the way out if you really want to. Waist rotation. You can kick forward. There's a little butt flap that you have to move for him to kick backwards. You can do the splits. Swivel at the thigh. Knees about that far. Foot can move. And pivot about there. So yeah, you can get him into some poses, which is pretty cool. And finally, there we go. That's pretty much all I've got to say about Blaster. So, complaints are pretty much the exact same as Kingdom Blaster. For new complaints, honestly, more of a nitpick, but I just wish you had a smacking face, but that's about it. So, would I recommend this version? Honestly, if you don't have Blaster, this is a really good version to get. But if you do have this version, oh, I think the leg's gone a bit loose, but if you do have this version, I would say, do you prefer the deco in this version? If so, then yes. If you prefer the Kingdom deco, then stick with that one. But if you prefer this guy's deco, or if you don't have a Blaster in your collection, go for this one. So, yeah. Well, this has been my review on Studio Series 86 Blaster, and this is a Transformers fan signing off.